How does a cartoon keep predicting the future? The Simpsons has eerily foreshadowed real events: Trump's presidency, smartwatches, even corporate takeovers. Now, with 2025 approaching, could their latest predictions come true? From AI breakthroughs to space colonization, let's uncover the Simpsons' most shocking forecasts for the near future. Artificial intelligence. How far will it go? Over the years, The Simpsons has explored countless futuristic ideas, but one of the most striking is its depiction of artificial intelligence. In a 2016 episode titled Friends and Family, Mr. Burns creates a virtual reality world where robotic versions of The Simpsons serve him. At first, the robots function as intended, but things take a dark turn when they begin developing emotions and independence. Suddenly, these helpful AI assistants become unpredictable and dangerous. At the time, it seemed like just another outlandish storyline. But today, artificial intelligence is advancing at an astonishing pace. From chatbots and virtual assistants to self-learning systems capable of writing, drawing, and even making decisions, AI is now deeply integrated into our daily lives. One of the most significant developments in recent years has been the rise of deep learning models, which allow AI to improve itself without human intervention. Companies like OpenAI, Google, and Tesla are investing heavily in artificial intelligence, pushing the boundaries of what machines can do. While AI has undoubtedly made life more convenient, concerns are growing over its potential risks. Leading tech experts, including Elon Musk and the late Stephen Hawking, have warned about the dangers of AI surpassing human intelligence. They argue that if artificial intelligence reaches a point where it can think and act independently, it could become uncontrollable. The Simpsons' depiction of AI turning against humans may have been exaggerated, but the core idea is eerily similar to the real-world concerns we're seeing today. We're already witnessing glimpses of AI taking over human jobs, automating processes, and even creating content that's indistinguishable from human work. If AI continues to evolve at this rate, will we reach a point where machines no longer need humans? Will the warnings from The Simpsons become a reality in the coming years? While artificial intelligence is reshaping industries and daily life, it's not the only technological shift The Simpsons predicted. If AI becomes an everyday presence, how will we navigate the world of the future? One possible answer lies in a prediction that has been a staple of science fiction for decades: flying cars. Flying cars, science fiction or reality? For decades, flying cars have been a staple of science fiction, representing the ultimate futuristic dream. The Simpsons joined the conversation in 2005 with an episode titled Future Drama, where Bart and Lisa take a look into their future and find themselves in a world where flying cars are as common as traditional vehicles. At the time, it seemed like just another over-the-top joke, but in recent years, the idea of airborne transportation has inched closer to reality. While the world of 2013, the year depicted in that Simpsons episode, didn't have flying cars zipping through city skylines, recent technological advancements suggest that this prediction may not be as far-fetched as it once seemed. Several companies are now racing to develop personal aerial vehicles, with the goal of making urban air travel a real option. One of the most promising developments comes from Simpsons Sky, the company behind the Switchblade, a personal flying car that completed its first successful test flight in December 2023. The vehicle, which operates as both a car and a small aircraft, soared 500 feet above the ground, marking a major milestone in the journey toward commercialized flying vehicles. Simpsons Sky claims they are just 2 years away from making these available to the public, meaning that by 2025 we could see the first generation of flying cars hit the market. However, while companies like Simpsons Sky and Klein Vision are making progress, several obstacles remain before flying cars can become a mainstream reality. First, there's the issue of cost. The Switchblade alone has an estimated price tag of $170,000, making it far from accessible to the average person. Then, there's the question of infrastructure. How do we regulate air traffic for personal flying vehicles? What kind of licensing would be required to operate one? Governments around the world are still working through these questions, and without a clear regulatory framework, flying cars may remain a niche product for years to come. Still, it's fascinating to see how close reality is getting to The Simpsons' vision. In the coming years, will we finally see flying cars become as common as regular sedans? Or will they remain a luxury for the ultra-wealthy, much like private jets? While the timeline is uncertain, one thing is clear. What once seemed impossible is now becoming a serious possibility. But The Simpsons didn't just predict advancements in transportation. The show also imagined a world where the way we experience food would be completely transformed. Could one of their strangest predictions about dining actually be coming true? Virtual reality food, a new way to eat. The idea of eating without actually eating sounds bizarre, but The Simpsons brought this concept to life in Treehouse of Horror 6, where characters consumed food through virtual reality headsets. At the time, the scene played out as a ridiculous gag, poking fun at futuristic ideas that seemed impractical. But decades later, advancements in virtual reality are turning this concept into something that scientists and tech companies are actively exploring. Virtual reality has already revolutionized gaming, communication, and even medicine. But could it also change the way we experience food? Some experts believe that VR technology could one day simulate the taste, smell, and texture of meals without the need for actual consumption. This idea is no longer just speculation. Companies like Aramix and researchers in food science are experimenting with ways to replicate the sensation of eating using digital interfaces. One real-world example is Royal Caribbean's VR dining experience, which allows passengers to immerse themselves in a virtual environment while eating gourmet meals. This experiment is just the beginning, hinting at a future where food might not be limited to physical ingredients. Some researchers are even developing sensory devices that stimulate the taste buds using electrical signals, tricking the brain into perceiving flavors that aren't actually present. While this might sound futuristic, it raises an interesting question. Could VR food become a solution for health-conscious individuals or those who struggle with dietary restrictions? Imagine a world where you could enjoy the taste of your favorite desserts without any impact on your health. At the same time, there are ethical and psychological concerns. Would virtual food disconnect people from real-world nutrition? Could it lead to an even greater divide between artificial experiences and reality? Although VR food is still in its early stages, the fact that The Simpsons envisioned this idea so many years ago is remarkable. With technology evolving faster than ever, it's hard to say what dining will look like in the next decade. But one thing is certain: if virtual reality food becomes mainstream, The Simpsons might have predicted yet another unexpected trend. As technology continues to evolve, the way we communicate is also changing at an unprecedented rate. The Simpsons didn't just predict new ways to eat, they also hinted at a future where holograms could become a regular part of our daily lives. Could holographic technology be the next major breakthrough? Holograms, the next big innovation? The concept of holograms has long been a fixture of science fiction, but The Simpsons brought the idea into its futuristic storytelling in several episodes. One notable instance appears in Bart to the Future, where a grown-up Bart receives a holographic message, something that at the time seemed like pure fantasy. But as technology progresses, what once looked like an exaggerated vision of the future is now becoming increasingly possible. In recent years, tech companies have been developing advanced holographic displays that bring three-dimensional images to life. One of the most significant breakthroughs has been the creation of volumetric display technology, which allows images to appear in midair without the need for special glasses. Companies like DreamOck and Looking Glass Factory have developed high-definition holographic displays capable of producing lifelike projections. These innovations are already being used in advertising, medicine, and even live performances, where deceased artists have been brought back to life through holographic technology. Perhaps one of the biggest steps toward making holograms mainstream is Microsoft's HoloLens, a mixed reality headset that overlays digital objects onto the real world. Unlike traditional screens, this technology enables users to interact with virtual elements as if they were physically present. While it's still in development, some experts believe that within the next decade, holograms could replace traditional video calls, allowing people to communicate in a far more immersive way. But the question remains, how soon could holograms become a part of everyday life? Some scientists predict that by the end of the decade, businesses and consumers may start adopting holographic communication for virtual meetings, entertainment, and even medical procedures. While we're still a few years away from seeing fully interactive holograms in our homes, the pace of technological advancement suggests that The Simpsons' vision of a world where people receive holographic messages might not be too far off. Technology is evolving at an unprecedented rate, transforming everything from transportation to communication. But The Simpsons' predictions don't stop at technological advancements. They also touched on major political events, some of which have already come true. One of the most well-known examples is their prediction of Donald Trump becoming president. But what about the future? Could The Simpsons have foreseen another major political shift in 2025? Donald Trump's political comeback? Another Simpsons prediction? When The Simpsons aired Bart to the Future in the year 2000, the idea of Donald Trump as president seemed like an absurd joke. At the time, he was best known as a real estate mogul and reality TV personality, making the prediction feel more like satire than prophecy. But 16 years later, in 2016, the unexpected happened. Trump was elected as the 45th president of the United States, leaving many people wondering if The Simpsons had somehow predicted the future. That wasn't the only time the show referenced Trump's political future. In a later episode, the series included an image of a sign that read, "Trump 2024, long before he announced his second presidential campaign. Now, with Trump officially running for office again, The Simpsons' prediction is once again in the spotlight. While some argue that the show simply made a lucky guess, others believe it reflects the writer's keen ability to satirize American politics in a way that sometimes aligns with reality. Trump's political rise was largely shaped by public perception, media influence, and his outsider appeal, factors that The Simpsons, known for its sharp political commentary, was already aware of when they made the joke back in 2000. As the 2024 election approaches, the question remains: will The Simpsons' prediction be accurate once again? If Trump were to win, it would solidify The Simpsons' reputation as the ultimate predictor of political events. However, if he doesn't, it would raise an interesting discussion about how much of the show's predictive success is rooted in satire rather than foresight. Regardless of the outcome, The Simpsons' ability to tap into political trends has been remarkable. But they didn't just stop at predicting Trump's presidency, they also hinted at another potential leader within the Trump family. Could The Simpsons have been foreshadowing an even bigger shift in American politics? Ivanka Trump for president? The Simpsons has a history of making sharp political observations, and their predictions about Donald Trump didn't stop at his presidency. In an episode from 2016, Homer is briefly shown wearing a campaign button that reads Ivanka 2028. At the time, it seemed like a satirical jab at how the Trump family had become a major force in American politics. However, given Ivanka Trump's growing influence, some have speculated whether The Simpsons was hinting at a political future that may actually unfold. Ivanka Trump played a significant role during her father's presidency, serving as a senior advisor in the White House, alongside her husband, Jared Kushner. She was deeply involved in policy discussions related to women's empowerment, economic initiatives, and international diplomacy. Her presence in the political arena was more than just symbolic. She actively represented the United States in meetings with world leaders, solidifying her role as a public figure beyond her previous life in business and fashion. The idea of Ivanka running for president may still seem far-fetched, but The Simpsons has a track record of identifying figures who later became influential in unexpected ways. While she has distanced herself from politics following her father's presidency, speculation remains that she could re-enter the political landscape in the future. If she were to launch a campaign in 2028, as The Simpsons jokingly suggested, it would mark a historic moment in U.S. politics, not only as a continuation of the Trump legacy, but also as a potential first female president. Of course, political landscapes are unpredictable, and many factors would need to align for such a scenario to become a reality. Whether or not Ivanka Trump ever runs for office, The Simpsons' ability to predict the rise of certain figures and their political influence remains a fascinating discussion. While the show has made eerily accurate political predictions, it has also touched on far more unsettling possibilities. One of the most alarming forecasts from The Simpsons isn't about elections or leaders. It's about the possibility of a major global conflict. Could their reference to World War III turn out to be one of their most chilling predictions yet? World War III. A joke that feels too real? The idea of a global war has always been a source of fear and speculation, and The Simpsons made a lighthearted reference to it long before recent geopolitical tensions raised concerns about real-world conflicts. In a 2007 episode, Homer repeatedly pranks his family by shouting, "World War III is starting." It was meant to be a comedic exaggeration, poking fun at paranoia and exaggerated fears of war. However, given the state of global affairs today, the joke has taken on a much darker tone. Over the past few years, rising tensions between major world powers, ongoing military conflicts, and shifting political alliances have fueled concerns that a large-scale war could break out. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine, ongoing disputes between the United States and China, and regional conflicts in the Middle East have led some experts to warn that the world is more divided than ever. With nuclear capabilities in play and military advancements accelerating, some analysts have suggested that we are closer to a large-scale global conflict than at any point in recent history. While The Simpsons' reference to World War III was clearly meant as satire, the reality is that global tensions are at an all-time high. Military alliances are being tested, economic warfare is playing a significant role in international relations, and the balance of power between nations is shifting. The idea of a large-scale war in the near future may have seemed unlikely decades ago, but current events make it a topic of serious discussion. The Simpsons has never claimed to be a crystal ball for world events, but its ability to reflect underlying social and political trends has made its predictions stand out. Whether or not World War III happens in the near future, the fact that the show referenced it in such a casual way, only for real-world events to make the possibility feel more plausible, is another example of how The Simpsons manages to stay eerily relevant. But war isn't the only global crisis The Simpsons has hinted at. The show has also touched on environmental disasters and extreme government interventions. Could another one of its predictions, a society forced into extreme environmental measures, be on the horizon? Environmental catastrophe. The Simpsons movie as a warning? The Simpsons has never shied away from tackling major social and political issues through satire, and one of its most striking depictions of an environmental disaster came in The Simpsons movie, released in 2007. In the film, Springfield is placed under a massive glass dome by the Environmental Protection Agency after severe pollution renders the town a danger to the outside world. While exaggerated for comedic effect, the idea of a government-imposed environmental lockdown has become an increasingly relevant topic in recent years. Climate change has been a major global concern, with rising temperatures, extreme weather conditions, and environmental degradation leading to urgent discussions about how governments should respond. From wildfires devastating large regions to hurricanes and record-breaking heat waves, climate-related disasters are becoming more frequent and severe. Governments worldwide have already implemented policies aimed at reducing carbon emissions and promoting sustainable energy. But could more drastic measures, such as restricting human activity in certain areas, be on the horizon? Some environmental experts have speculated that as conditions worsen, governments may resort to more extreme interventions, including controlled environments or restricted zones to manage ecological damage. While no official policies resembling the Springfield Dome exist, there have been discussions about geoengineering, artificial climate control, and stricter urban planning to reduce pollution levels. The Simpsons has often been ahead of its time in highlighting social and environmental concerns, and the storyline in The Simpsons movie serves as an exaggerated but thought-provoking reflection on what could happen if environmental policies become more extreme. While placing entire cities under domes may not be realistic, the broader concern, how far governments will go to prevent climate disaster, is very much a real discussion. But environmental catastrophe isn't the only cosmic-scale disaster The Simpsons has touched on. Another prediction, far more unsettling, involves an event that could change life on Earth forever. What if a black hole were to appear close to our planet? Black holes in space exploration? A final Simpsons mystery? Black holes have fascinated scientists for decades, representing some of the most mysterious and extreme forces in the universe. Their immense gravitational pull can swallow entire stars, warp time, and create cosmic voids that stretch the limits of human understanding. While black holes have always been a subject of science fiction, The Simpsons took this concept in a surreal direction during Treehouse of Horror 33, where a small black hole appears in Springfield and begins to consume everything in its path. While played for laughs, the episode taps into a genuine scientific question. What if a black hole appeared closer to Earth than we ever expected? In recent years, astronomers have discovered a black hole closer to our solar system than previously thought. Located just 1,000 light-years away, this newly detected black hole has sparked discussions about whether undetected black holes could be lurking even closer. Scientists believe that thousands of smaller, dormant black holes may exist within our galaxy, hidden among the stars. While none pose an immediate threat to Earth, the possibility of an unknown gravitational anomaly affecting our planet remains a topic of ongoing research. Beyond black holes, space agencies around the world are increasingly focused on humanity's long-term survival beyond Earth. NASA, SpaceX, and other organizations have made significant progress in deep space exploration, with plans to send humans further into the cosmos than ever before. With the rise of commercial space travel, the idea of humans venturing beyond our planet is becoming more realistic. Could The Simpsons have been onto something when it depicted the threat of space-related disasters and humanity's growing interest in life beyond Earth? Talked about missions in recent years is NASA's Artemis program, which aims to establish a long-term human presence on the Moon before venturing to Mars. Meanwhile, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk has repeatedly stated his ambition to build a human settlement on Mars, with plans for the first crewed missions to take place within the next decade. These developments align closely with The Simpsons' portrayal of humans preparing to leave Earth for other planets. However, the road to space colonization is filled with challenges. The environment of Mars is harsh, with no breathable atmosphere, extreme temperatures, and high radiation levels. Scientists are exploring ways to create sustainable habitats, grow food in controlled environments, and develop new forms of transportation to make interplanetary travel possible. While these concepts may sound like science fiction, they are increasingly becoming subjects of serious scientific study. Whether black holes pose a future threat or space exploration becomes humanity's next great frontier, The Simpsons has managed to capture the essence of our curiosity about the cosmos. While the animated show may not have a crystal ball, its ability to reflect real scientific ambitions and concerns is undeniable. If humans do venture beyond Earth, the first destination will likely be Mars. And once again, The Simpsons had something to say about that. Mars colonization. Will humans leave Earth? The idea of colonizing Mars has captivated scientists, engineers, and space enthusiasts for decades. While long considered an impossible dream, technological advancements in space travel are rapidly bringing this vision closer to reality. Interestingly, The Simpsons touched on this very concept in an episode where Lisa Simpson volunteers for a mission to Mars. What was once a comedic exaggeration is now an actual goal for space agencies and private companies alike. NASA and SpaceX are at the forefront of Mars exploration. SpaceX, under Elon Musk's leadership, has set ambitious plans to send the first humans to Mars within the next decade. Musk has spoken about creating a self-sustaining colony on the Red Planet, with the long-term goal of making humanity a multi-planetary species. NASA, on the other hand, is focused on its Artemis program, which will serve as a stepping stone for deeper space missions, including potential manned missions to Mars. However, the challenges of Mars colonization are significant. The planet's atmosphere is incredibly thin, composed mostly of carbon dioxide, making it unbreathable for humans. Its surface is bombarded by radiation due to the lack of a protective magnetic field, and temperatures can drop to deadly lows. Scientists are currently researching ways to overcome these obstacles, from developing radiation-shielded habitats to testing the feasibility of producing oxygen from the Martian soil. Another major hurdle is the psychological and physiological toll of space travel. A mission to Mars could take anywhere from 6 to 9 months, meaning astronauts would need to endure long periods of isolation and microgravity. Extended exposure to low gravity can lead to muscle atrophy, bone loss, and cognitive effects, making long-term space habitation an ongoing medical challenge. Despite these barriers, interest in Mars colonization continues to grow. Countries like China and the United Arab Emirates have also launched missions to study the planet, signaling an international push toward interplanetary exploration. The possibility of discovering microbial life or unlocking the secrets of Mars' ancient climate only adds to the urgency of these missions. The Simpsons' reference to Mars colonization may have been humorous, but it aligns with serious discussions happening in the scientific community today. As researchers explore ways to establish a human presence on another planet, it's clear that the idea is no longer just a fantasy. The coming decades will determine whether the Simpsons' vision of interplanetary travel becomes a defining moment in human history. While we may not see large-scale human settlements on Mars by 2025, the groundwork for future missions is already being laid. Space agencies and private companies are preparing for an era in which humanity will expand beyond Earth, exploring new worlds and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. And with that, we've reached the final question. How many of these predictions will actually come true? The Simpsons has made some incredibly accurate forecasts in the past, but what does that say about the future? Are these just coincidences, or is there something more to the show's strange ability to reflect reality before it happens? As we move into 2025, we'll be watching closely to see if The Simpsons' predictions unfold once again. With that, we have reached the end of today's video. If you have come this far with us, be sure to check out other videos on the channel.